Are goblins back in Pioneer thanks to Raise the Past? That's what we're going to find out today. So here is our Raise the Past Goblins deck for Pioneer, and this deck is super sweet, and the thing I love about this deck is it's partly like a Goblin Tribal beatdown deck, and then it's partly this Raise the Past Aristocrat, kind of almost graveyard combo deck. So let's talk about the deck, both of its plans, what it's trying to do, jump into some games, see it in action. So we start with kind of our core Goblin package. Cacophony Scamp, Fireblade Charger, deal damage when they die equal to their power. Snoop lets us play goblins off the top of our deck. Goblin Instigator makes a goblin token when it comes into play. Runfell Hordemaster, our Goblin Lord. It's a good one. Not only does it pump all of our goblins, but when it or another goblin dies, we get to exile the top card of our library. If it's a goblin, we can play it until the end of our next turn. And this is not only important to our beatdown plan, but it's important with our synergy combo plan. But we'll talk about that in just a minute. So these are our core goblins. Then we have our goblin beatdown plan, and this one's pretty straightforward. So we play our goblins, we play Runfell Hordemaster to pump up, we play Battle Cry Goblin, which is kind of like an honorary bushwhacker almost. For 2 mana, we can give our goblins haste and +1/+0, plus it makes goblin tokens when we attack with a big board. So we can just curve out, play goblins, pump them with Hordemasters and Battle Cry Goblins, and win by attacking. So that is one of our plans. Our second plan is more of a Skirk Prospector plan. Skirk Prospector, a 1-mana goblin that can sack a goblin to add a red mana, and this opens up some really sweet synergies with our graveyard. We have like Fable the Mirrorbreaker, Brass's Tunnel Grinder to just get goblins into our graveyard, plus Fable makes goblins, which is kind of cute, because what we really want to set up is a Raise the Past combo turn. So Raise the Past, it is 4 mana to reanimate all of our creatures with mana value 2 or less, and if you look at our deck, every single goblin, every single creature is mana value 2 or less, so we just reanimate literally all of our stuff, and this gives us some weird combo potential where we can sack a goblin to Skirk Prospector to make a mana, trigger a Runfell Hordemaster to hopefully impulse draw another goblin that we can cast. If we have our Fireblade Chargers and Scamps, when we sack them, we get damage, and then we can cast Raise the Past to reanimate our entire graveyard, sack a couple more things to Skirk Prospector to make mana, use Battlecry Goblin to haste up our team, and swing in for a lethal attack on the spot. And if things go really well, like let's say we get double Runfell Hordemaster on the battlefield with Skirk Prospector, we can actually go like functionally infinite with the deck, since if you think about it, we play like a Fireblade Charger for 1 mana, but then we can sack it for 1 mana, so it's essentially free. When we sack it, we're going to trigger our Hordemasters to impulse draw to hopefully find more goblins that we can cast essentially for free to sack to go through our deck. So we kind of turn into this weird aristocrat combo deck with some of our draws, and that's what makes the deck so sweet, right? We can just be the aggro deck that's beating down with goblins, or it can be this weird late game Raise the Past aristocrat deck that can win the game without ever attacking at all. So mana base, pretty traditional stuff, bunch of dual lands in the sideboard, some removal for aggro, Case of the Crimson Pulse and Invasion of Goblicon for control, Stick Proctor to shut down ETB triggers, Deafening Silence for combo, and that is Raise the Past Goblins for Pioneer. That's our deck for today, so let's jump into some games and see just how many goblins we can reanimate with Raise the Past. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you all enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap-up.
Need some magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Want to help out the channel? Well, you can snag these super sweet new dice, playmats, tokens, and more over at mtggoldfishmerch.com.
It is Pioneer time this week. We're in Pioneer to play some Raise the Past Goblins. I'm pretty hyped for this deck. It's like aristocratic goblins. I think this is fine, right? 2 1-drops, Instigator Lord. No shenanigans. I mean, Savannah Lions? Okay, our opponent does know we're playing 2024 Pioneer, right? Not 1994 Standard. Opponent gets in with the Savannah Lions. We're going to take it. Hopefully we don't... Oh, no. Sky Knight. Is this a cat deck? Oh. I'm actually kind of scared now. Let's play this Instigator. I am a little bit worried because, see, Sky Knight Squire, it gets flying and gets very big. One of the weird quirks of this deck is outside of our, like, Fireblade Chargers and Cacophony Scamps, oh god, Kahira, we don't have any hard removal in the main deck, so if our opponent just grows the Squire, we probably die to it. Unless we can figure out a way to kill our opponent first. I guess we're double blocking the Savannah Lions that we mocked a little bit earlier. Karma. Well, let's play the Snoop, see what's on top. It's a land. Well, scamp it. And I guess we just pass? Our cat's good now? This Sky Knight Squire might change the equation. Although, I mean, I guess we're also just not a removal deck. If we had a bunch of removal, this might look a lot different. Bonet gets in. Well, we got a chump, I think. And I guess we just snipe your face for one. Haha. Down to 60. Top of the deck. All right, Battle Card Goblin. We'll take it. And then a land. Well, Sacred Foundry and get down Runbelt Hordemaster, which is actually one of the key cards in this deck. Very good with the sacrifice shenanigan plan. Oh, another Squire. I mean, the problem is, so this goes to the air. Another Savannah Lions for the rub-ins. I mean, so we have no way we can win. We don't have a removal spell that can stop the Squire, yeah? I mean, that... Apparently, Sky Knight Squire is straight up unbeatable. So we do get a couple get lost in the sideboard, so at least that's some answer. I think the real answer is we just want to out-aggro our opponent or aristocrat our opponent. The problem is, I don't know if we can do that against Cat. I can't believe I have so much respect for cats now, but they looked really good. All right, on to game number 2. We get to be on the play, which is nice. We get a little removal, which is, ooh, okay, now we have our Raise the Pass. Maybe we can do the aristocrat thing and just sort of combo kill them. This deck really has 2 pass forward, right? Opponent doing some mulligans. We can win like an aggro goblin deck with the Lords and Battle Cry, or we can try to win like an aristocrat deck with sacrifice synergies. I feel like this is hopefully a sacrifice synergy hand. We could use a Savannah Lions again. Man, we're gonna lose to Savannah Lions. Opponent, gonna block with the Savannah Lions. Well, kill that. 2 to the face. We get a Hordemaster trigger. Goblin. All right, Instigator's pretty good for next turn. That is something. Because we have these 2 raises in hand, we're kind of okay with aggressively trading off here. Because if we just aggressively trade off, eventually we're going to reanimate. Literally, everything in our deck is reanimatable by Raise the Pass. So we're just going to get it all back anyway, sooner or later. So that's the logic, at least. Bonet, Cavern on Cat, and Kahira. I'm surprised they don't have Kahira as their companion. That means they're not playing all cats as creatures, which is odd. Well, hit you. Down on 13. We have Raise the Pass for literal days. If we draw a Skirk Prospector, this hand's going to go wild. Bonet, Felidare Sovereign to grow the cats. All right, well, ooh, there's some removal. See what our, wow, opponent's just gonna take it? I was hoping they're gonna block with Kahira and we could get a blowout, but instead, I guess we just pass and probably kill something. I mean, I guess the Felidare Sovereign is technically the better of the 2. Yeah, let's get rid of it. Cat Lord number 1 down. This is going a lot better. Ooh, Coco. Okay, this is frightening. So far, this is going better than game 1. Opponent's down to 9. However, this Coco could be a issue. Let's see what they hit. Whiff, whiff, whiff. No cats. No creatures. All lands. Oh god. New Arabo and a Sky Knight Squire. Well, our offense, I think, is shut. We need to win this game very quickly. Well, we're going to take our beats. How about a Skirk Prospector? Fireblade Charger. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess we can go attacking. If our stuff dies, at least we get Hordemaster triggers, and we have this rally or Raise the Past anyway. I keep saying rally. Opponent gonna block with the huge flying cat and the token. We really just need to spin into a Skirk Prospector. Then we can go to town. Well, come on, Hordemaster. Whiff and whiff. Do we just rally, I guess? Not a good rally, but sure. All right, go ahead. I mean, we do have 4 points of direct damage on the battlefield when our stuff dies. Opponent's only at 9. I mean, if we draw a Prospector, we can just, I think we just win. Felidare Sovereign. And we should get a bunch of draws at it, hopefully. Thanks to the Hordemaster. Yeah, that's, I mean, we got to do this quickly. That's a 9. Sky Knight Squire might be insane. That is a 9/9. Okay, 10/10. 10/10 flyer. Yeah, down to 6. Well, this is a turd. Now we're never Skirk Prospector. Oh, that's Skirk Prospector. Okay. The only problem is we're short of white mana. So we can't rally twice. But we can do things. All right, so sack the Charger. Make a mana. Paying ya. Draw a card. Not draw a card. Not a goblin. Sack the Scamp. Paying ya. Down to 5. So we can get them both back, hit our opponent to 1. Hey, there it is. There it is. The Charger comes through, and that is enough direct damage. Oh, Wow. Okay. So we can beat cats. Not easy, but we can. I'm actually like pretty surprised at how good cats look. We might have to build cats. They actually, maybe it's just a matchup that our deck is not good at killing things, but at least against us, cats actually look like they might be legit. Ooh. One land, one keep. One land. This is a good one lander. I promise, Chad. I promise this is a good one lander. Believe me, YouTube. But really, it is. We have literally everything we want. Ooh, okay. Now it's a very good two lander. Fireblade Charger go because we have the sack outlet, we have the Battlecry Goblin and the Horde Master, and we got two sack fodder. Like we have literally all we need. Wouldn't mind hitting another lander or two to get to the rally. Ooh, Sky Knight Squire. Okay. Cacophony Scamp. And Skirk Prospector. The question is, do we have to kill... man. So we can sack a dork, waste a mana, waste a body, kill the Squire, Arabo. I think we're going to let it go. I hope we don't regret this. I think our best plan of winning is to do what we did in game 2 and just race. The Squire gets so big. Yeah. Ooh, Fable. Okay. Play the... Horde Master down to 15. All right. I mean, I guess we can. This still hurts, but we're gonna kill it now. Trigger the Horde Master. I'd like to kill a Rabo, but I think we have to kill the 4/4 because it's gonna get too big. At least doing it this way, we get some Horde Master triggers, and we get to play the Battlecry Goblin. Bang yeah. Okay, another Prospector. Well, I guess we play the Prospector. Pass? All right, well, we dealt with the biggest threat. Please no Coco. Coco, okay. Adaptive Automation. Opponent is all about them cat lords. If you get to the point where we're playing Adaptive Automation, you want every lord possible. If they just attack with the token, we probably just take 3. We just need a white source, really. We need a white source, and we can do rally. Oh my god. Oh, we need a white source so bad. Well, Battlecry Goblin. Pass the turn. Opponent's only got 2 cards in hand. Please, opponent, land, and... Yeah, those cats are getting too big. Arabo's actually seems really good. I feel like Sky Knight and Arabo, those 2 cards together, I feel like they changed the equation of how cats work. Like, cats might be legit now, and I think we're dying. Like, they just have too many lords. If we could... If we need a land, still maybe. If we can hit a white source to do rally shenanigans, we still might have a chance. Snoop exiled for next turn. Instigator. You know what? Does this come back to 1 land, 1 keep, or are we just getting unlucky? I still think the keep was fine, but not hitting the second land, now we're just gonna die, right? Oh, if we had more white mana, we could do so much. Like, our board just gets Wrath, right? We have to block so much. Yeah, let's sack the Instigator. Exile a land, sack the token. Exile a raise, and a Snoop. Yeah, we can't do it without the mana. Well, cats, better than goblins, apparently. Much brew about nothing time. We are playing some Raise the Pass Goblins and Pine. Please not cats, anything but cats. Apparently cats are... Goblins kryptonite. We cannot beat cats. About it. Actually, we're gonna have to build cats because cat looks legit now. Ooh, black mana. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Ooh, the best duress ever. Yeah, got him. Got him. The power of playing all goblins and not many non-creature spells. Well, let's play a Den of the Bugbear and get down the Horde Master. I think we're the aggro at the moment. Get in at ya. About it. Down to 18. Opponent. Some red manas and passes. Okay, land number 3. Well, I mean, I guess we just play Can we just win next turn? So we play Instigator, go attacking, smack ya. Next turn we can Battlecry Goblin and pump. That seems pretty good. I don't think we actually have lethal, but we're actually not that far from it. Opponent. What kind of Rakdos are? We're the demon-y kind of Rakdos. Unstoppable Slasher, sure. Well, ooh, Prospector. What does that mean? So play the Battlecry Goblin. I mean, I think we just still do the same thing. I guess we can lead back. We'll lead back the Horde Master. Same with everything else. Make a token. And then we can... Wow, opponent's at 2. Ooh, Raise the Pass exiled. And then I think we'll just sack a token to play the Prospector. Just have another blocker. We should be fine. We can take a slasher hit anyway, as long as they don't have the combo to like one-shot kill. Archfiend to the Dross, and it's a good card. Not gonna do it here though. An opponent scoops it up, and that was kind of a massacre against maybe the best deck in the format. See, as long as it's not cats, we're good. Well, we're bringing some of our precious hard removal and go down the Tunnel Grinder and I guess a Snoop. We are going to be on the draw this game, and this hand, oh, 1 land, 1 keep. It's going to work this time, I promise, chat. One of these times, it's going to work. And then you're going to leave a ton of comments thanking me for keeping the 1 land. Sometimes I dream about that. Sometimes I fall asleep at night thinking, one of these days, I'm going to keep that 1 lander. We're going to win. Hey, thank you, Magic Gods. And the YouTubes are going to be so happy. It's just going to be an endless stream of comments about how wise I was to keep the 1 land. Hasn't happened yet, but someday. Maybe today. Maybe this is the one. Get an you. Fireblade to the face. I mean, we're in pretty good shape now. Like, the thing is, this deck actually can legit keep 1 landers. Not every 1 lander, but let's play the Snoop. We have a lot of 1s and 2s, like our creatures top at 2. Plus we can make mana with Skirk Prospector. Leave Snoop alone. Wow, opponent. Read Snoop, leave Snoop. Land on top is actually pretty awesome. We might actually get to do some rallying. Oh, opponent. Hidasugu consumes all. And by all we mean Fireblade Charter. Although that is gonna accidentally nuke our graveyard. Well, let's play the land on white for future purposes of raising the past. Get down the Instigator. Get down this Prospector. Smack ya. I mean, we got land number 4. This 1 lander is actually working out fine. We did just hit a bunch of lands, so... Well, opponent exiles our graveyard. That is going to make the raise the past a little worse. Although we have Skirk... Oh, another one! Come on now. Come on now. Hidasugu consumes all again. Well, there goes our Prospector and our token. Well, I mean, it might be beatdown time. Battlecry Goblin. Do a little whacking. Haste him up and smack ya. Make a token. Opponent. Down. This might be an easy one. For being the best deck in the format, our opponent is not very good at stopping goblins, apparently. Oh, opponent. Arguably the best, one of the best decks in the format. Opponent, land, pathway on black, and what do we got, demons? What do we got? Gonna shoot the sheriff on the Battlecry Goblin. I mean, the thing is, so the thing about Rally, sometimes we do this big infinite combo. Other times, we reanimate a Battlecry Goblin. I mean, I think, okay, well, if we play this on Goblin, so we can play the Prospector, sack, reanimate, haste. Do we win here? We might win here. I think this works. I mean, somehow we kept a 1 lander, and now we're actually flooding out, if anything. So play the Prospector, so we can sack the Instigator, make a mana. So we need 6 total mana, right? Sack the Snoop, make a mana. So now we can raise the past, get everything back, and the Battlecry Goblin. Wow, through double Hidasugu consumes all. I mean, this was kind of a mini raise the past, but I think it's still going to be lethal, hopefully. Found it. Shoot the sheriff number 2, well, haste him up in response. This does mean our token doesn't get haste, unfortunately. Do we still win? I don't know if we still win. We're still going to push with everything. So opponent blocks, they're going to go to 1. All right, opponent. Let's see it. So Hidasugu consumes all down. Opponent untaps. Do you have a sweeper? Do you have a wrath? You need it now, opponent. Or some life gain, something like that. Opponent was at 1. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. That's not going to do it. Goblins. Raise. Whew, the 1 lander. That was not the craziest raise, but it was still pretty good. Let's keep doing that. We are doing some Pioneer Raise the Past Goblins. And this hand looks pretty sweet. Oh, we have our Brass's Tunnel Grinder even. We have not seen Brass's Tunnel Grinder do much. That's the card that we've sideboarded out most. Not because it's bad, just because it's the most flex slotty of our cards. So it tends to go out, ooh, Plains A. And Hopeful Initiate. All right. The age-old battle, humans versus goblins. Well, Cavern on Goblin, in case our opponent's going to do some mana tithing. Well, let's play a Horde Master and smack you with the scamp. Do we kill the Hopeful Initiate is the question. Probably. I feel like against the cat deck, I think we got punished by not killing stuff as aggressively as we could have. We do not want to make the same mistake against humans. Plus, we get the Horde Master trigger, which goes to waste, but still. Opponent planes. And Thalia. Well, play the land. Well, I guess we do some Fireblade charging in Horde Master Part 2. With 2 Horde Masters, this is where I think 2 Horde Masters and a Skirk Prospector, we don't go infinite, but we can go, like, almost functionally infinite, I think. Found it. Luminarch Spire. Gonna grow that Thalia. And pass. Sadly, we do not have, of course, the Prospector at the moment. No prospecting for us. We are going to get in with this Charger. If our opponent blocks with the Thalia, we get 2 triggers and we get to kill the Thalia. Our stuff dying is not the end of the world because we're a Raise the Pass deck. Like, the whole gimmick is we reanimate all of our stuff. So our stuff dying is not a big deal. Give us some goodies. All right. Raise Pass exiled and land exiled. Okay. Pass the turn? I mean, I guess worst case next turn we can play the Tunnel Grinder and draw a card. Thalia. Thalia's not especially good against us. Like, I guess being a first striking body is something, but it's not great. Well, let's do some attacking. I like these Runbelt Horde Master triggers. Like, our stuff's kind of just dying, but we kind of... Oh, you should kill the token because it raised the pass. Not that our opponent knows we're a Raise the Pass deck, but still, technically, killing the token's better, I think. Well, Horde Master. ×2. Can we hit a Goblin this time? Ooh, wow. Okay. Not just a Goblin, but the best Goblin here. Skirk Prospector. Well, let's play that. Let's sack the token. Draw 2 cards. Maybe. 2 Horde Master triggers. Fireblade Charger. That's a good one. All right, so that's kind of free, thanks to the Skirk Prospector. Plus, we get 2 more Horde Master triggers. And I guess we just kill the Thalia? Snipe the Thalia. Trigger. I mean, if we can just keep chaining... opponent has Brave the Element, sure, whatever. So Thalia lives, that's fine. If we can just keep chaining... Okay, there's a Snoop and a Battle... Wow, okay, and a Battlecry Goblin. Well, let's play the Snoop. Take a peek at what's on top of the deck. Oh, Raise the Past. Oh, God. Well, let's just play the Battlecry Goblin, and I think we're going to pass... Because I actually want that Raise the Past. We don't want to exile it to the Horde Master. Don't kill our stuff. Okay, Thalia's Lieutenant, sure. Grow your team, opponent, that is fine. Oh, next, if we untap, next turn's going to be wild. Next turn might be the actual, like, full-on Raise the Past Aristocrat combo. Opponent passes. Wow, Instigator on top 2. That is also excellent. So... Instigate. We just got to make sure we leave 2 white mana for the eventual Raise the Past. Goblin Instigator. Make a token. Again, technically free, thanks to Skirk Prospector. Sack the token. Actually, sack the original. Doesn't really matter. Trigger. I mean, it does matter because of Raise the Past. It is correct to sack the original. Exile a land. Battlecry. Goblin. I'm pretty sure we just win this turn. Skirk Prospector, Horde Master, so good. Wow. These Horde Masters not doing anything, but still. Instigator, again. More card draw, more triggers, more bodies in the graveyard. Yeah, even with a Thalia taxing us, it just doesn't, it's not enough. Not enough. I'll sack it, Horde Master. We can do this all day. Ooh, wow, triple Horde Master and an Instigator on top. Well, let's sack the token. Yeah, we are going to win the game this turn, I'm very sure. Another Instigator. Land goes to exile. Well, play the Instigator. See, this is what I was meaning by functionally infinite. Like, technically we're not infinite and we can fizzle, but practically it is unlikely that we do not just do this until we go through our deck and then rally for the win or Raise the Pass for the win. Wow, another Prospector. Okay, fine. Another Battlecry Goblin on top. Well, let's play the Skirk Prospector. Little redundant. I mean, I think if our opponent had a removal per Prospector, they would have played it. Like, there's no reason to wait this long. But redundancy, never a bad thing. Let's sack it. Draw some cards. Make some manas. We just want more Cacophony Scamps and Fire... Hey, there we go. There's a Scamp. That's what we're missing, right? This is how we can deal the direct damage. Eventually, we will hit them. We burn our opponent's vase. And, wow. Okay. Combo. That was pretty good. Well, all right. Traditional sideboarding. Tunnel Grinder out. Hard removal in. Go down a Snoop. Run it like that. All right, on to game number 2. Game number 1 was easily our sweetest combo. Like, that's upside to this deck, right? We've seen the aggro wins that just, like, beat you down with the as long as we're not up against cats. If we run to cats, all bets are off. Who knows what's going to happen, except us losing, apparently. But we've seen the aggro wins, where we just, like, play goblins and attack you and Battlecry Goblin. Now we got to see the full-on aristocrat skill, and that's what I really like about this deck, is it's not a combo deck. It's not an aggro deck. It's kind of like all of those really, it's an aristocrat deck. It's basically an aristocrat deck. That's how a lot of aristocrats deck works too, right? Like, you can win by being a creature deck that's attacking and doing normal creature deck stuff, but you also have this sacrifice synergy that can win games without attacking, which is really, really huge against some decks. Opponent's off to a nice fast start this game. 1-drop into Copper Grove Vanguard. We are very good at running prospectors. Let's play the land on white. We might just have to kill. Yeah, let's just kill this Vanguard. I'm worried about Brave the Elements, which we already saw, fizzling our removal spell. So I think we got to treat it like a Boggle almost and just, like, do it main phase while our opponent's tapped out. No Adeline, please. Adeline's a problem. All right, Copper Go Vanguard, part 2. I mean, Fable's not bad. Fable is cute in this deck. It fills the graveyard. Also, it makes goblins. It actually fits the theme. Now, Fable the Mirror Breaker, Goblin token. So what are we looking for? Dorks that we can sack for damage are good. Before long, Raise the Past is going to be good. We're not all the way to Raise the Past time yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Opponent. Oh, boy. All right. There's the Adeline we were worried about. Opponent gets in. Token. The downside of our deck is our goblins are very small. They're not especially good at killing our opponent's big things. We make a lot of them, but, well, there's a Raise the Past. Let's discard Battlecry Goblin land into Battlecry Goblin land. Okay. Yeah. Now play the mountain. I guess we Battlecry Goblin, and we can pass and defensively pump, which is exactly what you want to be doing with Battlecry Goblin. I guess that's all we can do, though, right? We can double block Adeline, pump to kill it, and take like 6, and then I guess try to rally everything back and survive. Luminarch Aspirant, okay, another good one. If our opponent has Brave the Elements, we get absolutely wrecked. Oh, we probably just lose, honestly. But if they have protection, that's very bad for us. Or removal, instant speed removal would do it. Opponent swinging with the crew. We gotta do it, right? Yeah, we're falling very far behind here. Battle Cry, do a little pumpage. Hopefully get rid of this Adeline, although, oh no. Yeah, I think that's actually just game. Yeah, well, we didn't really have a choice. We had to try. We knew that Brave the Elements was a risk. Battle Cry Goblin. So we get back. Not enough. Yeah. GG, humans, GG. That game, I think the lesson is we just did not get off to a fast enough start. Like, we didn't get off to a fast enough start, and we didn't find the right pieces. We found none of our removal goblins. 1 land, 1 keep. 1 land, 1 keep. Yeah, we can't do it with this one. All right. We'll be responsible in Mulligan, starting with 6 cards. I hope you're happy, YouTube. That was not a good 1-lander, though. We only had 1-drop and no Skirk Prospector. This is a fine 6. Reasonable 6. Let's play the mountain and get down. Yeah, let's get down Battlecry Goblin. Gonna hit ya down to 19. Well, we're off on the front foot. That's what went wrong last game, I think, is we got off on the back foot, opponent got off on the front foot, and by the time we could start doing things, it was just too late. Opponent, Luminarch Aspirant. Well, there's a Scamp. Let's play the Scamp. And I think we just hasten the team. Smack ya, make a token. Opponent can trade with the Battlecry Goblin if they want to. They're just going to eat the token and take pretty big attack to the face. I think we have the Raise the Past. We're gonna sack and get rid of this Luminarch Aspirant. Drawing a land would actually be excellent. A land would let us eventually Raise the Past, but it lets us Instigator and haste it in. Another Luminarch Aspirant. Yeah, our opponents. This is like just the reverse. Tap land. It's just like the reverse of last game. Like, it is essentially the same thing, but in reverse. Like, our opponent's on the back foot. They're playing one thing that's trying to play defense and like survive the attacks. It is the exact opposite. We were doing the same thing from the other side last game. Hit you down to 9. Run out the instigator. Well, if we draw a prospector, we can kind of pop off with raise. Otherwise, we're kind of just winning with the beats. Opponent, Thalia's Lieutenant, sure. Grows Luminarch Aspirant and Coppercoat Vanguard to grow the Thalia's Lieutenant and Luminarch Aspirant to grow the Thalia's Lieutenant. We draw Battlefield Fjorge. I mean, we can double pump with Battlecry Goblin. I think what we do is we pump once now, so we get the token, go to combat attack, and then we can pump again now that we have the token. And if our opponent can just trade off with most of our board, but we have raised the pass, so it's all going to come back next turn anyway. Opponent blocks. Well, let's do a little more pumpage. Opponent down to 4. Well, play the land. Opponent needs something pretty good. If we draw land, this raise the pass is going to be game ending. Opponent brutal Cathar. It's probably game ending anyway, but it's going to be immediately game ending if we can haste it. And Paladin class. So we get back what? Battlecry, Scamp, Instigator. Let's just wait. Let's just play the Instigator. Pass the turn. I like the idea of just having the land and just one-shotting with the Battlecry Goblin. Opponent, Skyclave Apparition. Gonna hit the Instigator. Only legal target. Yeah, surprised about the Paladin class. Like, Paladin class is a fine card. I think it's better against control, though. I ain't done on the longer. Do we just do it? Yeah, I guess we just do it, even without the haste. I don't know how our opponent's going to punish us for this. It's not like they're a Wrath deck or anything. Well, get back the crew. No attacks. Next turn, we can actually triple Battlecry Goblin. Battlecry Goblin's actually, like, kind of legit. Oh, wow. All right, opponent leveling up the Paladin class. Not exactly a show of strength. Ooh, Nykthos. Spicy. I don't know what White Weenie's Nykthosing into, but Battlecry Goblin. Haste him up. Go to combat. And this should be the game, right? Unless our opponent had Settle the Wreckage. Settle the Wreckage would be so sick. Oh, again, Joe, all right, sure. We will just pump again. Settle the Wreckage off the Nykthos mana would have been hilarious, and it would have got us so good. But opponent doesn't have it, and block as much as you will. Too many goblins, and that is the power raise the past. Not really like a combo we raise the past, but just like we trade off our stuff, and then guess what? All of our goblins are back, and we're getting there. We're up to Diamond 2. We're making it. Cool. 6 lands, no keep. Yeah, that's might be the worst hand we've seen with this deck. Definitely not trying the only Ace Kirk Prospector as a non-land draw. Yeah. All right, this is fine. I think we actually I kind of want to put a land at the bottom. Is that too greedy? It is greedy. Is it too greedy? That's the question. I don't think so. We're going to go for it. I mean, we have 2 2-drops we can play. Let's see what our opponent... Ooh. Oh, okay. I was worried about control for a minute, but then I saw the Fairy Miscreant. So opponent, probably some sort of like ninja deck? Fairy deck? I don't know. Probably something to do with Kaido, I would assume. What do you got, Dr. Pressy? Dr. Pressy. All right, Dr. Pressy. Show us a fairy. Mock. Yeah. Ing. Yeah. Bird. Yeah. Down to 9, dude. Mockingbird's so good. I love that card. It is cute with Fairy Miscreant. Well, let's get down a Goblin Instigator. Fable to discard some goblins to set up the Raise the Pass seems sweet. Well, so much for that plan. It's got to be either Fable or Raise the Pass. I don't know which one they're more scared of. Fable's a more immediate problem. Like, Raise the Past is a problem for our opponent as the game goes long, but it's not a huge problem right this second. Fable's coming down next turn, filling the graveyard. Opponent combat gets it, hits us. Thankfully, our opponent's clock is not the fastest I've ever seen. And... well, there's a Sacred Foundry. Would you like to take the 2? Opponent's actually losing the race because they're painful mana base. Let's play a Fireblade Charger. Sacred Foundry or Battlefield Forge? Yeah, we'll play the Forge. I think there's some argument to so we are taking 1 off the Forge. We could play Sacred Foundry on tap, take 2, and then not take damage in the future. We might actually save more life by going the other direction. Opponent getting rid of the Battlecry Goblin. For now, there is a Raise the Pass that will sooner or later get it back, hopefully. Opponent's going to need more than just Fairy Miscreants to beat us, I think. Down to 14. All right, there's a Kaido. OG Kaido. Opponent's going to draw a card. Sure. Ooh. All right, another Battlecry Goblin. Well, Battlecry Goblin. Haste up the crew, and yeah, I mean, hit you for a bunch. About it. Down to 4. Battlecry Goblin deals a lot of damage. It deals so much damage. It is almost like a Bushwhacker, except it's way better than a Bushwhacker in this deck. It doesn't care about being cast. Like, we can raise and still activate it, even though it's being reanimated. Mock, yeah. Okay, Mockingbird again, opponent, sure. And they like those 1/1 flyers. I mean, it makes sense, right? If you're playing Kaidos likes cheap evasive creatures. Is Fairy Miscreant really the best of the bunch? That I don't know. It is the 1/1 war. The difference is we have the Battlecry Goblins, so our 1/1s are not actually exactly 1/1s. Another Raise the Past. Well, yeah, I mean, and do we win here? Oh yeah, we get the token. Yeah, that means we do win, right? Because they can't block the Fire. Actually, no. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they do die. Because if they block the Fireblade charge, they die to that. So they can block other stuff, but then we still just have lethal? All right. Goblins. Better than Fairy Miscreants, apparently. All right. That went pretty well. We didn't even need it. We had 2 raises in hand left over, too. So even if our opponent somehow, like, traded off and survived, we still just reanimate everything. Raise the Pass seems so good in this deck. So if you compare it, it compares to Rally the Ancestors, Return to the Ranks. The thing is, Return to the Ranks pretty bad in this deck because we don't have white creatures to convoke. So you can't get the value out of the convoke. So it's, I think, worse there. Rally is more just straight up a combo piece because you got to exile all your stuff. You can't do the value lines. So I feel like this is just way better. Yeah, sounds kind of borderline. 4 lands, 3 spells, Raise the Pass, but no way to fill the graveyard. I mean, I think we keep it, but not happily. Like, it's okay. It's not bad enough that we mulligan it, I don't think, but not good enough that it excites us. Opponent. Spyglass Siren off the Watery Grave. Well, all right, more instigators. Let's just Inspiring Vantage and Cacophony Scamp. Get our scamp on. Mutavault. And cracking the map on the Spyglass Siren. We could play Mutavault. Could we play Mutavault? Mutavault? It is a goblin, technically. Well, let's play the creature land. Get down the Goblin Instigator. Not actually sure we want to attack with the Scamp yet. We've seen so many 1/1s from our opponent. I feel like at some point Scamp is hopefully going to be a 2-for-1. Where they like block it or resack it, kill something else. Own it. Wow. Fatal Push on Goblin Instigator. Yeah, it doesn't feel great. Our deck's, I wouldn't say impervious to targeted removal, but we go wide enough that Fatal Push is not, like if you can snipe the Skirk Prospector or the Lord at the right time, Battlecry Goblin, like it can still you can get value out of it. I'm not saying you should sideboard it out or whatever, but not that great against us, right? Like spending a mana to kill a half of a Goblin Instigator, not ideal. Opponent, a flying Cacophony Scamp, thanks to Mock. Yeah. Ooh, Battlecry Goblin. That Scamp is going to be able to kill something. They can hit us and sack it, do some attack and see what our opponent does. This is where if they block the Scamp, yeah, there we go. So we get the 2-for-1. We get the 2-for-1 out of it if they block like this. I mean, I guess they also get a 2-for-1. They get to kill the token, but snipe the Spyglass Siren. Opponent going to snipe our Goblin token. Well, bad news, opponent. We have more Goblin Instigators. The 1/1 Goblins never end. Get an Instigator, get a token. Oh, opponent. Oh, opponent. Fatal Push on half a card just feels bad. You got to do it. I'm not saying your opponent's wrong, but it just feels bad to Fatal Push half of a 2-drop. Oh, here comes the Fairy Miscreants. You got another one? No. Trying a lot of lands. We could raise. I don't know if we want to raise yet. Also, our opponent could have a counter. I kind of think we just play to run our opponent out of cards. And then once we get to the point that we've run our opponent out of cards, then we just raise. Plus, if we get to 6 mana, which we're going to, even without Skirk Prospector, we can just raise Battlecry Goblin right away. Wow, firing up the... Are you blocking with the Mutavault? Opponent is blocking very aggressively for being at 17. Like, it's not like they're about to die. They're at 17, trading off the Mutavault already. I mean, we're fine with all this. Eventually, we're going to hopefully resolve this raise. Well, all right, instant replay, I guess. Like, Battlecry, haste it up, smack ya. So I think we're at the point, starting next turn, once our opponent's empty-handed or they tap out for something, we just raise. We just go for it. No, not again. Oh boy, opponent Mutavault number 2 going in front of a. I just don't know if that's an efficient use of resources. Yeah, Mutavault in front of the Battlecry Goblin. You do kill it for now. Oh, what do we got? Opponent's gonna pass. In that case, because I'm worried about counters, we're just gonna den on the Bugbear. If our opponent kills it, we don't really care. Opponent drops to 13. Play the Fjorge and pass the turn. All right, opponent, just tap out. Just tap out. Play something. If you tap out, I promise I won't raise the past. Oh, that's actually a lie. We will definitely raise the past. Kaido, Bane of Nightmares. All right, well, opponent. Shouldn't have tapped out. It shouldn't have tapped out. Kaido's great. Kaido's great. And it makes a lot of sense in our opponent's deck. But, wow, and the Prospector too. But now I believe this is just death for our opponent. Raise the past. Get them all back. Make some tokens, and GG from the opponent, and haste them up, and that went pretty well. That went super well, and maybe Goblins are kind of legit. I like this deck. I like it a lot. Well, yeah, let's keep doing it. We're going for Mythic. We're in our last match. If we win this, we hit Mythic with Pioneer Raise the Past Goblins. It's a big one. It's a big one. It's always the hardest one. You get to Mythic, and then that's when you keep the one lander and never draw your second land. This hand, you know what? We're going to keep this. It's a very weird hand with Brass's Tunnel Grinder, double Raise the Past, but it does have some late game power. Opponent Jingatha A and a Sunken Citadel. What is our opponent up to? When you see Jingatha, I think like sack decks or red aggro decks or something, but apparently not. You don't usually play Sunken Citadel in those decks. Instigator on top, not bad. Opponent. And Scorching Dragonfire the Snoop. All right. Well, land on white, and I think we just, with 2 Raise the Past in hand, I think we actually just Brass's Tunnel Grinder, discard both of our Goblins. Draw some new cards. I mean, we're going to have a pretty good Raise the Past. Horde Master's a good draw. Charger's fine. Scorching Dragon. What is our opponent up to? I am confused. All right, opponent, you're on the clock. You don't have any timeouts build up, so... Well, I mean, I guess we hit Mythic either way, so... Actually, on second thought, if you want a timeout, I guess that's fine in this case. Normally, I'd rather actually just win, but I'm not above getting a freebie Mythic. Gonna blow up our white source. Well, I mean, we got a couple basics in the deck. Somehow we're not very basic heavy, even though we're very close. I mean, we have Raise the Past, which is double white, but outside of that, we're a mono red deck. What do you got? Oh god. What? Is this land destruction? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, that's our last basic. Oh boy. You would think the Goblins would be great against land destruction, and it seems like that should be true, but I'm actually a little nervous. We do not have that many basics in this deck. Next land destruction effect is a straight up strip mine. Oh, we're never gonna cast the Raise the Past, are we? Like our opponent. Well, we'll see. Maybe it's a fluke. Maybe they're not land destruction and just happen to have a land destruction heavy hand. Pick your point. In the main? Okay, sure. Pick your poison. Gets rid of the Brass's Tunnel Grinder. I mean, we don't have any huge plans for that anyway. Our deck's not that great at descending. And a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Well, scamp them. And charge them. And, yeah, I don't think we want to throw a Lord away into a Goblin token. As good as Runfell Hordemaster is, it does not help us hit lands. It's worth keeping in mind. Like, it does draw us cards as our Goblins die, but those cards are only always going to be more Goblins. If it hits a non-Goblin, go next. Oh, no. All right, opponent. Yeah, you did it. You built a Strip Mine and Pioneer. Field of Ruin to blow up our only remaining white source. No basics left. Okay, we need to close out this game because this is going to keep getting worse. Oops. What's our oops about it? Scrabbling claws. Oops. Oops to you. I mean, I never get mad about people blowing up my... In Commander, maybe, but in 60 card formats, never get mad at someone blowing up my lands, because I love blowing up people's lands, so you can't get mad if someone does it to you and you like doing it to other people. Well, let's get in with our 1/1. So if our opponent beats Goblins with land destruction, tip of the hat to that would be very, very impressive. Because I feel like if you're playing land destruction, aggro creature decks are probably your scariest matchups. Well, let's sack the Scamp to snipe the Goblin token. Get a couple Horde Master triggers. Hey, okay, another Charger, that's good. And a Fable we would have actually liked. Well, play the Fireblade Charger. There's no way we can play 2 white sources in a turn, is there? I feel like we're going to keep playing white sources, and they're going to keep sniping white sources. And we're never... Wait, what is the oops about that? Flipping your Fable? We're just never going to be able to raise the past. If we ever do, I think we should win. Opponent's deck is wild. Scrabbling Claws in the main, pick your poison in the main. In some ways they are... Oh, Skirk Prospector. So Scrabbling Claws only exiles a card. I guess you can exile 2 cards if you also sack it. You can go 1 for tapping, 1 for sacking. But does that stop us? Wow. All right, we don't even got to think about it. Opponent is just going to scoop it up. Well, I don't know if that was going to work through the Scrabbling Claws or not, if it was going to be enough, but we'll take it. We'll take it. And we are a win away from Mythic Goblins. Raise the past. I don't even know if we change anything. I guess Gobicon, maybe? Even that, I'm like, it's okay. Our opponent's deck's just so weird. I don't even know exactly what we're hating on, but I assume they're going to have sweepers. So I guess Gobicon to beat their sideboard sweepers and run like that. All right. On to game number 2 against, I don't know, let's say land destruction. That's the best I've seen out of this deck so far. Our opponent seems to be a land destruction deck. Snoop, Instigator, a couple of lands. Seems fine. Opponent, Forest and Scrabbling Claws. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to raise the past against this deck. Ooh, Horde Master is a very good draw. Let the beatdown hopefully commence. Opponent untaps, and there's the Guild of going. More Scrabbling Claws. Thankfully, we don't have a basic in hand. We would prefer not to draw our basics against this deck, so we have them to tutor out with the Field of Ruin effects. Yeah, let's just Cavern on Gabo. Snoop or Horde Master or Instigator. Instigator into Lord is the most damage. Yeah, let's Snoop. Let's see what we're working with on the top of our deck here. Actually, this might work out perfectly because our opponent's probably going to be scared of this Horde Master and feel like they need to use their Field of Ruin to shuffle it away, which is kind of like skipping your double Field of Ruin. Oh, all right, we gotta kill our opponent. That's so much land destruction. We're going to be out of basics very soon. Opponent does do the Field of Ruin, makes us shuffle away our Horde Master. We're going to Mountain, one of our only 2 basics. We have a Inspiring Vantage on the top of our deck. You might be thinking, well, why don't you just play a Plains? It's not worth it. Like, yes, if you run into the wild card playing land destruction, you're going to wish you had a Plains. However, overall, having a Plains is going to add inconsistency in every matchup where you get color screwed because you only have a Plains and you can't cast your double red card or whatever. So even though in this matchup having a Plains would be great, in the grand scheme of things, it actually makes it worse overall, I believe. Well, get down the Instigator, get down the Charger, smack you with the Scamp, pound it. Down 18. I mean, our plan is pretty simple. We're going to drop a Lord, and we're going to attack you. And we're going to hope that you die, and that you don't have a sweeper. We hope that you just keep playing Scrabbling Claws. About it. All right, Cleansing Wildfire. I mean, there's the last basic out of the deck, which means this Field of Ruin is going to be pretty solid. The problem for our opponents is they're just dying. Like, yes, they are annoying us by blowing up our lands, but they're not doing anything like... We haven't seen a creature. We haven't seen a sweeper. We've seen... Okay, there's a creature. Outland Liberator. I guess they were afraid of the Brassist... Wow. Horde Master number 2 is kind of insane. If only this land was untapped. Even so, we're just going to push with the crew. 8 damage coming across. Opponent can block something. I actually like Pioneer Land Destruction, but our opponent is playing a very interesting, odd build of it. My opponent blocks the Scamp. Gonna throw a couple damage to your face. Opponent's gonna drop to 10. They're gonna scrabble away the Scamp. Well, play the land past the turn. You need that sweeper, and you need it now. They don't know we have another Horde Master in hand, but another Horde Master is lethal if our opponent doesn't do something meaningful here. Like, they're running out of time. Strip mine. Achieved, yes. Maybe our opponent's just going to go out doing what they love, which is blowing up lands, and I 100% respect that. If I play land destruction, I'm just going to blow up your lands. Like, if I win, great. If I don't win, hey, I strip mine you in Pioneer. Like, that's another kind of winning, right? So I feel like, even as our opponent is dying to the Goblin Horde, they might feel a little bit like they're winning, and I cannot blame them for that. Runval Horde Master, an opponent with the GGs, and scoops it up, and that is Goblins, Raise the Past Aristocrat style, hitting Mythic in Pioneer. And yeah, this deck's sweet. If you like Goblins and you like Aristocrats, give it a try because the deck seems really good. So what did we learn this week about Raise the Past Goblins in Pioneer? And record-wise, the deck kind of killed it. So we went 8-2 with the deck, running it all the way up to Mythic, which is a pretty great record, 80% win rate. And I gotta say, the deck's just a blast. If you like Goblin decks, this one actually seems pretty competitive, and I found it super fun to play. Some Goblins decks are just kind of like, I don't want to say brain dead aggro, but they're kind of just brain dead aggro decks, right? Where you just kind of like spew your hand, attack, hope for the best. And this deck can play like that. We definitely got to see the fast, like, beat down aggro, Battlecry Goblin, Runval Horde Master wins. But this deck also has these weird synergies, and we got to see some really explosive, cool Raise the Past kills where you're just able to like do all this sacrifice stuff and then reanimate stuff, make a bunch of mana with Skirk Prospector, and then haste in the team. So it has all this weird play and synergy to it. So overall, I really like this deck, and I think the deck actually seems pretty competitive. It's also not really budget friendly at $239, but it's not that hard to put together, especially if you have the lands. Like, if you look at our budget, more than half of that's going to be like the Sacred Foundries, the rest of the dual lands, the Cavern of Souls. So if you already have the lands to build this deck, you can put it together pretty easily, and it's super fun to play. So if you're looking for something different to play in Pioneer, on Magic Online, on Arena, in Paper, definitely keep the deck in mind if you're a fan of Goblins, or if you just like Aristocrat, weird synergy style deck. So anyway, that is Raise the Past Goblins. That's been our deck for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.